All right, I think I'm on. Can you guys hear me? Let me know in the chat. It was spinning for a little bit. All right, can you guys hear me? Okay, excellent. Excellent. Yay, we're back. All right, welcome everybody. So excited to be here. Let's just take a couple minutes and just wait for in case anybody else wants to come on. I'm so excited to be here today and excited about the topic. So definitely say hello. Let me know who's here on the live stream today. I've got Erin. Hi, Erin. How are you today? I wish I could see you guys. I know there's a few other people. I hope everyone's doing well. I've had a really fast week, lots of energy happening every day. I hope that you are too. Okay. All right, I'm just going to take a moment and kind of re-ground myself. Hello, I think that's Lori. I think that's you. Just says coffee house in the chat, but I think that's you. If not, hello. All right. So, yeah, Lori. Okay, I thought so. Hi, Lori. How are you today? So good to see you. All right, let's just go ahead and let's prepare before I kind of jump in and start talking about this topic called awakening. So I just like everybody to just go ahead and close your eyes and just really relax. Allow your body to relax. Just giving yourself some nice deep breaths. And you're just creating this space for yourself in this moment. There's nothing to do. You get to just sit back and receive. Oh, I can feel a lot of bliss coming through already, and we haven't even really started. And I'd like you just to go ahead and imagine a giant. We're going to work with the redwood tree today because they're so grounding. Just imagine it that you're sitting on top of a redwood tree stump, really large, way bigger than your hips. And it's just connecting into the base of your spine, the tip of your tailbone. And we're just sending that all the way down to the center of the earth. And just spreading roots all the way out in every direction. And just saying hello to Mother Earth. Just really appreciating all of her beauty, all that she does for us. And just notice how grounded and how connected you feel just by imagining this redwood tree. So, intention is very powerful. You set that intention and energy follows it. And just give yourself another deep breath. And then I want you to imagine at your heart center creating a connection of light, like a column of light going all the way up from the heart, up through and out the top of your head, and connecting all the way to the center of this universe. And we're just connecting into all of creation, connecting into source, divine. And just saying hello to source, whatever that is for you. Could be God, could be your higher self, could be your I am presence, supreme creator, the universe, whatever that is for you. Just say hello and just wait for a hello to come back. And we're just going to ask for just divine grace to start to fill us up. Just flooding into your body, into your whole being. And even asking for this grace and this divine love to even fill the entire room that you're in right now. Just making it really tangible in your body so you can really sense this connection and this presence. And then just one more deep breath. Again, just relaxing any tension, stress, anything that you've been holding on to today, or even the whole week. You can now let that go. Any worries, any concerns, any people. All right. And then when you're ready, just gently open your eyes and just kind of take a moment to just notice how you feel. How does your body feel? Are you a little bit more relaxed, more at ease, more peaceful? All right. Hello, Jennifer. So good to see you. Great to have you here. All right. If anybody new people have come on, just say hello. All right. So today I want to talk about a term called awakening and also ascension. And so one of the things that I kind of had a little awareness about last week is that, and this happens, it's very common because I've been using some of these, we would call these spiritual terms or languaging, that a lot of times I forget that maybe other people don't have an understanding of what that means. And also just know that today, that what I'm sharing is this is coming from my own personal experience, what I've learned, And so just know that, if you're watching somebody else or reading something else, that you might find different information. So I'm just sharing today with what I know and my personal experience. And I want to just try to make it as simple as possible. So I went out on the internet last night, just did a little run to just kind of look up these terms and just kind of see like what's out there and what other people are saying. And oh my gosh, it was a lot of stuff and it got very complicated. And so this is why I want to just kind of keep it very simple so that you can kind of have an understanding of this process that really we are all in. And this is something that is occurring in your life basically all the time. We just don't notice it. So, first of all, I want to just read the dictionary term of awakening to you. So, awakening, an act of waking up from sleep. So, that's the first definition. And then the second definition is an act or moment of becoming suddenly aware of something. And that's the definition that I'm going to kind of talk about today. So, awakening, it's when you actually become aware of something. You might all of a sudden perceive something differently. Um, that's really what it is. But then there's all of these other different levels to it. So it can be very complicated. So we can talk about a spiritual awakening. And so, really, it's when your consciousness is opening up and you become aware of something that you were not aware of before. And so that's really how simple it can be. That's what awakening is. You're waking up to something new, seeing something new in your reality, in your life. And it can be about yourself, which would be really good because we want to be self aware. It could be that you see something different in somebody else, or you're noticing something showing up differently in your life that's always been there, but all of a sudden it's like, oh, I didn't notice that. So this is awakening. This is a one level of awakening. It's a very simple way to describe it. So again, your consciousness is opening up and you're perceiving something that you hadn't noticed before. You became aware of it. So my understanding of awakening, we want to talk about spiritual awakening. And also, guys, feel free as we go along this process to throw in questions. And, as I feel guided to, I'll start to look at those questions and we'll just start to have kind of a discussion so that we can kind of get more clarity for you. So, my understanding of awakening a long, long time ago when I was working with teachers from the Berkeley Psychic Institute was that awakening is the moment when you realize that you're not this body and you realize that you're actually a spirit, a soul, your consciousness, your energy, that you are beyond a physical body and even this physical world. So that's another level of awakening. It's a deeper level of awakening. And so some of us, we've actually had that awakening in other lifetimes. And so for me, that's kind of what happened for me. Several lifetimes ago, I had the awakening where I woke up and I went, oh, I'm not this body. I'm like beyond the body. I'm more than the body. And I'm not just this world. There's like more to it. So when I came in this time from a very young age, I was always kind of questioning and always looking at the world as to like, what's going on here? It never really made sense to me. And of course, when I was young, I didn't know that I was searching for something, but I knew what I was seeing wasn't there was more to it, let's put it that way. And it was kind of hard to articulate because when you don't know that you're seeking, it's hard to understand what you're actually going through. But because I was already awake, I had some intuitive knowingness that there's a lot more going on than what, people are projecting at us and telling us this is what your reality is, basically. And so I started at I don't know if you call it an early age, but I started probably 20, just seeking out, looking for books. I was just anything that was not normal, you could say, or not the norm. Anything that had to do with spirituality, metaphysics, all of that, I was just super excited and I just was reading and reading and I just couldn't get enough. And so I was seeking to have an understanding of why am I really here, what it's going on, because I had a sense that there was a lot more going on, but nobody was talking about it. And so some people, so we're going to back up. So some people now, they're having that awakening where they're starting to realize, oh, like there's more going on here. And they're having experiences where they're realizing they're not just this physical body, but they're more beyond that. And they may not have like all the details of it. Some people are just waking up to realize, oh, there's more that's been going on, uh, in our reality than what people have been telling us. So there's all these different levels of awakening. Again, it's like your consciousness is opening up to something new, and you have this realization, this aha, this perception of, oh, well, I didn't notice that before. What is that now? And people, because we've been at home, it's kind of forcing us to kind of look at our lives, to reflect, to go inward. So, a lot of people right now are going through a awakening process on all these different layers. They're waking up and looking at, well, maybe I don't want to work at this job anymore. Maybe this isn't my joy. Maybe this isn't my desire. Do I have to do this? Is there another possibility? So that's very cool because when you start to go in and question things, you're going into that awakening process. And some people start to question, well, why am I here? Hi, Barb. So good to see you. I keep waving at the name. Sorry, guys. I'm not used to this yet. So, so that's awakening, and there's different levels of it. And you might hear terms of like waking up to God realization, where you experience the whole universe. So I had an experience of feeling and being the whole universe. So when I was in India the first time, and I was there for, I think, 33 days with my good friend Erin, and she's the one that was the catalyst to get me there. And oh my gosh, it was just phenomenal experience, and just the energy just kept building, building, and building till I was like, we were just cooked by the end of 33 days. So we were doing some process, and I don't even know where it was because, again, every day was magical and just like crazy out there. So we were in this meditation, in this process, and all of a sudden I expanded out into the universe. And I was just, kind of flying around and floating around, I should say, in the universe. And then, and I felt, very calm, very peaceful at that level. And then all of a sudden, it's like I went even deeper. I know there was no effort, it just happened naturally. And I expanded out. And at that point, there was no vision. I didn't see anything. Before that, I was, actually seeing myself in space and seeing the universe and just these spectacular colors and stars, and it was incredible. And then this next level, I wasn't seeing anything, but it was just this incredible expansion, and I felt myself and I felt being the entire universe. And so I'd heard teachers talk about, that we have the universe within us. Like we are the universe and it's within inside of us. And I actually felt that the universe was inside me and I was like around it. And I was the universe and all the space in between. And it was just like this incredible peacefulness. There were no thoughts, there was no vision. And so I was just in that moment. And from that point, all of a sudden I started to see like a black spiraling. So I did start to see something, and then I started going into it. And then I went into like this void. And then when I went into the void, there was nothing. And it's taken me a long time to really understand like what was that and what happened. But I went from being the universe, and you could also call that I am presence as well. And then I went into the void where there was nothing. There was, and it's kind of hard to talk about because when you have these experiences, there aren't words to really explain it. So I'm just kind of pointing to the experience, but also know that as I'm talking about it, I'm taking you into this energy so that you can start to have an experience of it. And at some point, you will have your own experience and probably know what I'm talking about. So then I went into this void, and at that point, there was no feeling of I am here or I am there. There was no I am. There was no existence. It was just blank. And I still kind of wonder to this day if the guide in the room hadn't said, time to come back, would I come back? Because there was no character, there was no identity, there wasn't anything. But as soon as I heard the voice, then I started coming back. So, anyways, I just wanted to share a little bit about some of my experiences. And that definitely was, I could say, like a very deep awakening experience because after that, and it did take quite a while for me to integrate that. That's all I can say because the bigger opening up or bigger experience you have, the longer it takes to integrate. So it was a while, um, maybe a couple years, you know, to really fully get it in. Definitely when I came back, I couldn't even hardly speak sentences and I couldn't understand things. And it was a really weird space. We would call that a growth period, a really big growth period. But from that moment of really having that experience of really not being a body, it was pretty huge, so that when I did come back in, I really started to perceive the world in a very different way and my reality in a very different way. So I just want to kind of share some of these experiences and just know that everybody's journey through this awakening and this whole spiritual process is going to be unique to you. Nobody has the same experiences. We all have maybe some similarities of things, but they're all going to be different. And everybody's going to experience things based upon what they need to experience, what they need to go through and remember. Okay. So let's just take a deep breath to just take all of that in for a moment. And so, does anybody have any questions so far? Or, yeah, any questions about anything that I've said? Or maybe just, you have a question about what's been coming up in your life. And then I can kind of tune into that and give you a little more clarity about it. So, just give you guys a moment. Thanks, Jennifer. You're so welcome. I love sharing my experiences. Sometimes they're a little difficult to share just because of the words, to, finding the words. But I love sharing and I hope that it's helpful. All right. So I'm not getting any questions at the moment. So, what I would like to just continue on. So, then let's talk about ascension. So, what is ascension? So, some people believe that, we're going to actually go somewhere. We're going to leave our bodies. Oh, okay. Hold on. Hold on to that thought. Oh, Jennifer says, I'm experiencing some awakening on this job. Cool. Very cool. All right. Okay, I will continue. So, we're not going to go anywhere. And yes, there is, in religious texts and things, and they do teach about the ascension, and they talk about Jesus ascending. And he did, well, I don't know if we could say he left his body. He transformed his body. He actually moved from his physical body. He activated what we would call the light body, the Christ body, the crystalline body. There's a lot of names for it. And he moved into that body, which was less density and more light. And so that was his ascension process. And he actually did stick around for a little while before he actually left the earth completely. So that's one form of ascension. What we're doing is we're not going to leave, we're actually moving into higher levels of consciousness. And the ascension process, what that really means is that we are doing it together. So instead of like one person going into this higher state of consciousness and their spiritual evolution, we as a collective, all of humanity is going through this process called ascension, where we are moving into higher states of consciousness. We are evolving as a species. Our bodies are changing, our DNA is changing, and we're actually shifting from carbon based form to crystalline, which I'm like so excited because I'm ready to be more of a light body than a dense body. But of course, to us, even if we're in our light body, we're still going to seem like we're solid, which is interesting. But really, we're going to be in a frequency that's much higher, moving faster, less density, more light. So that's why they're calling it light body. So really the ascension process is that we are all doing this together. And what's so cool right now is that with all of this stuff that's been happening all over the world, people are waking up and it's happening very fast and it's incredible. I've been waiting for this moment, as I said in my last video, for a very long time. It's here now. And so, this awakening process and this ascension, it's not something to be afraid of. It's something to like totally embrace, to be excited, you know, and as we're doing it as a group, it's faster. In the past, our spiritual journey, at least I could say for myself, it's been a slow, arduous process. The energy was slower moving, and everything just took longer, and to process and to integrate took so much longer. So it's so exciting now because I'm telling you, stuff is just flying through. Like, I'm processing through something in a matter of seconds or minutes sometimes, and I'm just like, woo, whoa, what was that? And I'm not even, I'm not going into it. I'm not really thinking about it much. I'm just okay. Now to the next thing, and just being present, and just you know, being where I'm at. But it's happening very quickly, and the insights are coming in, the awarenesses are coming in. Okay, so I just want to check in with you guys for a minute. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to check in with Jennifer, and Barb saying I feel more heavy, like I weigh a ton. Okay, so we're going to check in with you guys. So, all right, so Jennifer, she's give me a little more detail. So I'm going to tune into you. You're saying that you are in a transition. So are you changing jobs? Um, Let me just. And also just know, when I'm tapping into a person and I'm getting information for them, that it's also for the whole group too. There might be the whole thing that's resonant for you, or pieces. So really kind of take this all in, because we all are interconnected and we are all having similar experiences. Okay, Jen, I'm just tuning in. Hmm. Noticing a lot of your heart. So, if we were to talk about energy centers that are really opening up for you, to a bomb blast online work. Okay, so she is transitioning from a job to. So I'm just going to tell you what I'm getting, what I'm seeing, and what I'm feeling. So a lot of opening in the heart, a lot of opening in the throat, and also it's almost like from these chakras, this heart chakra, the throat, the third eye, and the crown. Like, I feel like this open in this expansion coming up out through the top of your head. Yes. So what's happening? Ooh, I'm just getting lots of chills. Okay, which tells me I'm on track. And Jennifer's saying yes, yes. Okay. So what's happening is you're getting more connected to your source, and these chakras are opening and expanding. It feels like a lot of density has been leaving, and by transitioning into this new job, it's like it's opening up new things for you, not just like on a physical level, but also energetically and spiritually. And it's like more energy flow in your body, and it's going to allow you to express, to see, to feel, to know all of these different abilities. It's opening that up for you, and I keep getting really strongly that it's like you're just, it's like this huge self discovery. Like, you're starting to have all these epiphanies, these ahas about yourself that you didn't know was there. And so you're really kind of you're in a growth period, which is great, and you're waking up more to yourself and discovering more of who you are. Also, pay attention to your dreams. Stuff is coming in your dreams. Sometimes it's hard to decipher because it can be, a lot of stuff, or it may be a little foggy. But you can always set that intention before you go to sleep at night. Like if there's anything that I need to be aware of in my conscious mind in the morning from my dream state, any, messages or things, please let me, be aware of that. Okay. So it feels really positive, Jen. And I would just say, keep going. Yes, I get really grumpy when I can't put time into it. Others try to distract me. Yes, there's a lot of distractions right now, guys. And so it really does take, especially if you have a lot of other people around you, you really do have to just go set time aside for yourself and just go spend some time, do some meditation, go out in nature, go for a walk if you can, and just be with yourself and just receive and just listen. So I am getting that it's a really positive transition for you right now. Will it be like long term? It's not showing me that, but it's showing me that it's really positive right now and it's helping to open stuff up. The grumpiness is that, when we're in a growth period, that it can be uncomfortable. I'm just going to say that, and some are more uncomfortable than others. So that's why it's so important right now. Self care, nurturing yourself, eating good food, getting enough rest. All of those things are really important to take care of the body, because as we take care of the body can catch up and it can integrate all these energy dynamics that are happening. We are all getting downloaded right now every night, with new frequencies, new codes to like wake stuff up in us. So again, make sure you're getting enough rest, you're getting lots of water, and eating well. And Jen says, yeah, just do it. I'm so excited. Yes. So guides are telling me, keep going in that direction and stay focused. Okay. It's very important. Stay focused to that self discovery. That's why we're here. We're here to know who we are beyond the body. We're here to really know this reality that we're in, discover our gifts, and really move back to our highest potential. That's what we're doing. This ascension, we're moving into higher consciousness, and we're moving into our hearts again, and we are creating a different world. All right. Okay, so I want to tune in. Thanks, Jennifer. I hope that helps. Thank you. My new motto, me and self discovery. Yes. Perfect. Okay. So, Barb, I want to just tune into you. So, you're having third eye pressure. Okay. So, let me just tune into you. So, I did a session with Barb last week. And so, again, what can happen is, you'll go into a big growth period, and then it can be uncomfortable and feel really you can feel just kind of out of sorts, and you could be more clumsy at times, you can be more forgetful, you can be all of those things, a little bit more ungrounded. So that's just a part of what's happening, is the spirit is like expanded, and then the body, it's trying to keep up. And so it takes a little bit longer for the body to match where the spirit's at. So that's why we've got to be good to the body, because the body's denser and it's, carrying all this stuff. So we really want to take care of our bodies. Okay, so let me just tune in. Hmm. Okay, Barb. So what I am getting for you, it just, even though it may feel heavy, this heaviness, I feel this sweet, sweet, just peacefulness in your body, and this loving energy just coming in. There's so much love coming in, and I'm feeling it coming into your heart, but it's also just coming in to, like, all the pores and cells of your entire body. And it's like you're in this giant cocoon right now, being cradled, being held by the mother. And so, some of the pressure is it's just you're being held right now to be more still and to just be with yourself. It's not for you to really be out doing a lot. Um, okay, I've been getting lots of exercise starting with good, good. Yeah, and just really tune in again. You're just being held in this cocoon. So, as we all know, before we become that butterfly, we go into that metamorphosis. We're in that cocoon, and what's happening to us, like all this stuff is getting melted down and morphed. And we are all in that state right now. We are getting melted down and morphed and shifted and changed. And then pretty soon, we are going to be coming out of that cocoon and we're going to be those new butterflies. So just know that, the process, it's not going to last forever and it is moving faster. But yeah, I just am getting so much love in your whole body and being, and it's great. It feels so nice. It may be again a little foreign or a little uncomfortable because we don't always know what's happening, and then our mind wants to jump in and go, am I okay, am I okay? What's going on? We're trying to understand it. But if we can just step back and we can just trust that the universe and that the divine has our back and is totally taking care of us. And I'm just getting like to really bring that in more deeply. This is the faith part, and just to know that we are all being taken care of, even when it may not look like it. We have to trust and we have to know that this is happening, that it is happening for everybody's highest and best good and interest. So, hopefully, that's a little helpful to you. Have the faith, know, and trust that it's happening and that you're being taken care of. Okay, good. Ah, yes. All right. She said yes. Awesome. That makes me feel better. Thank you. You're so welcome. So, do you guys have any questions about ascension, awakening, any other specifics that have been coming up? Or, maybe you learned something from somebody else and you just don't have clarity about it. And hopefully, what I've said has at least given a little bit of foundation. I've given you a little more clarity and made it more simple so that you don't have to like go read a bunch of books and texts and things, and because it gets very complicated and can get very convoluted too. Okay, Barb says timelines have been coming up a lot lately. Yes. And I talked about timelines last time. I hope that it was clear, because some of this stuff, our mind wants to track it and understand it. And again, when we're starting to, talk about the spiritual world, there sometimes just aren't words for it. And our mind can't have an understanding of it because it goes beyond the mind. So just know that. Um, okay. So, Barb, anything specific about timelines? Anybody else? I can just tell you from my experience, I've been jumping timelines, and I jumped a big one on Wednesday and it was huge and massive. Um, and again, it's like all of a sudden your world looks different. And sometimes when these things happen, what's happening is like we have what I call points of reference in our reality. And we have all these points of reference of like, okay, that's over there and that's over there. And so I know who I am because of these things in my reality. But what happens when all of a sudden those points of reference go away? Then all of a sudden you go into a really big growth period, and then you're questioning, like, well, I don't know where I am, who I am, I don't know what I'm doing. And so that's what's happening when you're going into a really big awakening process and what I call a big growth period. All those points of references get pulled, and then it opens you up to a new space, and then it just takes a little bit of time, again, to kind of integrate into the new place. So, because we're always defining ourselves by our um, outer environment. And so, a part of this awakening process, too, is that those definitions and those things of who we think we are starting to dissolve. And at some point, you as the character will dissolve back into the all that you are. And I know that can be a little scary, but and I've went through periods of that where a lot of periods of not knowing who I am, where I'm, what I'm supposed to be doing. And with that, even where so much changes, it's like, oh, I don't even like these foods anymore. I don't like my furniture. I got to change. I don't like these colors, the clothes I'm wearing. Like all of a sudden, all of these things will change very dramatically because all of those definitions, those reference points of how I've defined myself are gone. And it's a good thing because then it opens you up more to all that you are. Okay. Was there anything? I'm just looking. I guess I better. Oh, all right, guys. I haven't been paying attention to the time. Wow. Talk about being in a portal all of a sudden. Stuff is just really moving fast today. Let me see. Was there one more question? How do you know when your timeline is telling you it is time to jump into the next space? Project, etc. Timeline. I feel more resistance. Well, sometimes, well, I would say a lot of times it's happening, and you don't even know it. So, because there's so many timelines and parallel realities happening simultaneously, that we are shifting into timelines all the time. So one of those indicators is like one moment, like you feel great, and then all of a sudden you're like crying and you have no clue why, because you've tapped into another timeline that you're in and you're having a different experience in that timeline. So that's why we can feel like we're going on this up and down roller coaster ride and kind of all over the place because we're just jumping and shifting into timelines. So that is an indicator of, when you're moving in and out of timelines. So what I do, and again, I can kind of only talk through my experience and what I know, is that I am always intending to be on my highest path and the highest timeline that's in total alignment for me. And so it's something that I just have come across, many years ago. Always my spiritual path has been the most important thing this whole life for me. And so I've been very focused and pushing myself very hard. Now I'm relaxing more into it. I'm not pushing so hard because I've done a ton of work. And and it's not that I'm definitely staying focused, but I'm in less effort. I'm more relaxed with it. So for me, I'm always intending that I move into that highest timeline and that higher path that's in alignment for me. And just by focusing on that from time to time, that's what naturally will happen. And so that's one way that you can do it. And if you are having resistance to, oh, I don't want to go into this other time. If you're having an awareness of like, oh, I do need to shift, but I don't want to, then really sit down and get into a meditative space and ask yourself, is go, okay, what is coming up for me right now with the timeline stuff? And really see, is there like some fear? You know, a lot of times we think all of our friends, all of our family, everything's going to dissolve, go away. That's probably not the case. Will you lose some friends along the way? If they're not in alignment with you and you're not in alignment with them, yes, this will happen. That's happened to me my whole life. A lot of relationships just have fallen away because for me, I have been on a very specific path, and not a lot of people are moving in that same direction. So they do fall away. And yeah, it can be challenging and hard sometimes, but it's always a good thing because then new friends come in that are more in alignment with where I'm at, and we get to have a lot more fun. So hopefully that's helpful. Okay, I want to just read, see what else we got here. Okay, I know Jen said she's like, oh my God, this is my day today. It was an explosion first thing in the morning. Okay, good. This is so helpful. All right. And so also just know, you guys, that when I am speaking about things, it is just flowing through me, and so it can be hard for me to go back and know what I was talking and what I was saying specifically. So this is a part of the process. If you are, we've heard about ascension symptoms, um, being tired, fatigued, uh, maybe feeling more brain foggy, not being able to remember. Our brains are being rewired too, so that we can function at a higher level, so we can function in a higher mind than where we've been functioning. So just know, if you're experiencing some of this stuff, it could be also, I a lot of times am not sleeping because so much energy is coming in, and I'll have, I had about 4 days last week of that, and then I was like kind of over it and said, okay guys, I need a break. And then I got a little bit of rest, and then it's like they kind of know when I'm ready for more. So I just kind of trust that process. But yeah, this can all be very uncomfortable. That's a part of why I want to come on and talk about these things. Just know that you're not alone. We're all going through similar things. And I just want to be able to, also energetically just help kind of anchor us in more, and to allow this process to happen. Okay. Yeah. And Barb says she's really tired, not sleeping, foggy. Okay. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Because sometimes what's happening, you're in that big growth, you're in that cocoon, and so everything's getting dissolved down. So in those so you're not in this place over here, and you're not in this place over here, and you're kind of what we call like you're in that limbo place where you're in between. So we're constantly evolving, we're constantly stepping up to our next level. And basically, it's our next level of consciousness, frequency, energy, and reality. And so sometimes what happens is we're in between. So we're not where we were before, but we're not fully anchored into the new place yet. And so you can be in that in between limbo land. And I've been there a lot, and sometimes for long periods of time, before I got really integrated into that next level. So just know that this is all a part of the process. And again, just really take good care of yourself. Love your hearts, love your bodies. Okay. I'm feeling like it's time to do a blessing for you guys. Okay. How's that feel for you guys? Hopefully everyone's going, yes, thumbs up, right? Okay. let's do a blessing. I feel like I've said a lot, and let's just, this is the other piece too. I think I talked a little bit about this last week, but if you are going and watching or reading, and diving into some things, it's good to like do a little bit, then take a break, let that absorb in, let it integrate, and then when you feel good again, then you go, okay, now I can go do a little bit more. So that's where I'm kind of feeling right now, giving you guys a lot of information, energy. So let's let that kind of integrate, absorb, and let's do a blessing. So, what I want you guys to do is just close your eyes. And again, just connect in with your heart. You can even just put your hands over your heart. And I'm going to be doing this chant 7 times. And then I'm going to be sending this energy to you. Really, it's coming through me, from my heart, from the divine, from source, from creator, to you guys. And so I want you to just have an intention, hold it in your heart, and it can be anything that you're needing right now in your life. It can also be if you know of somebody that could really use a blessing, healing, that's really struggling with something in their life right now, you can bring them into your heart. Okay. So just focus on your breath, focus on your intention. And I'm just going to go in and connect. Hum sa so hum ekam. 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 Sam sa so hum ekam. Hum sa so hum ekam. And when you're ready, just gently open your eyes for a moment. And just take a nice deep breath. And just allowing this energy, this blessing, this transmission to just fully integrate, ground into your body and your being. There we go. So, for those that don't know me and will be watching this maybe later, so one of the things that comes through me is the essence of bliss, and bliss is really our innate beingness, but it's something that really comes from me and it's something that I can transmit outwardly to others. So, I just wanted to share that in case you're wondering why I'm laughing and shaking, and it's just naturally comes through. And so, may you have a wonderful rest of your day and weekend. May you be filled with this bliss and this joy throughout the entire weekend. May you get bursts of this just coming through and exploding in your heart. So, I will be doing more of these, and I'm going to be doing an online course soon. So, you can check out my Facebook account, Sacred Sun Healing, and also my website and my Instagram. And I'll be putting more details on about that. And again, just thank you so much for coming and connecting today and allowing me to share my journey with you and my process. And I hope that this is helpful. And may we all be blessed with divine grace and ease through this entire process, just moving us more gently, more peacefully, more blissfully into all that we are and who we've really truly come to be. We've come to be our highest potential and to be fully embodied masters on this planet, this life. So it is my joy and my pleasure to continue to serve you. And yeah, have a great weekend. Thank you so much. Namaste, everybody. Love you.